Hello, and thank you for watching this seminar. I'm Tristan Elliott, Business Development Director for i4 Product Design. In this session, I'll be sharing my insights on how to safeguard your vision from the main pitfalls of the development journey to manufacture. By the end of this seminar, you'll be armed with some of the key questions for potential design partners and contract manufacturers. You should also have a broader view of some of the main considerations when setting your target retail price and selecting a manufacturing process. First, some background on i4 Product Design. We are an employee-owned design and development consultancy with an in-house team of 20 creative designers and engineers who over the past 17 years have helped our clients bring over 200 products to market. As custodians of our clients' vision, we help innovators develop their ideas creatively as well as pragmatically. With our wide range of clients, these visions can be as diverse as being the retinal imaging company, the British home alarm system company, or even the automated fish vaccination company. One of the more notable examples of a customer's vision from a few years ago was a brief to develop the world's first electrical stimulation device for weight loss. The company was a startup founded by a neurosurgeon and neurologist, and early on in their journey, we became their turnkey development partner, and along with their preferred contract electronics manufacturer and our proposed injection molder, we were relied upon to provide them with costings for their fundraising efforts. My reason for raising this particular example is because there were a variety of competing interests, such as the ergonomic challenge of a one-size-fit to the head, and needing to have a high-quality aesthetic, which points to having a compact and electronics design as possible, whilst keeping both the project cost and the unit cost as low as possible. Complex projects with this kind of push and pull on requirements are most effectively delivered by teams that deploy creative pragmatism. Now, I define creative pragmatism as an experience and data-led approach to tackling design challenges, where potential solutions are brainstormed with clear sight and reference to commercial targets, realistic commercial targets, and market insights. It is best achieved through blending of project management and its associated techniques, such as house of quality, utilizing design engineers with a diverse industry and product type portfolio, and industrial design processes such as user-centered design. To have an effective outcome, you need to start off on the right foot. So, good data, or at least solid assumptions, experience, and integration is key. Whether or not you opt to use your own in-house development team or those of an outsourced partner, without ensuring a close integration of the design and engineering functions, you could find yourself in a situation where you have a design that is highly functional and simple enough to fabricate, but is not desirable in the least, or worse, where your design is desirable, but costly or impossible to manufacture. An integrated and experienced team, armed with your commercial targets and market insights, can deliver creative designs that you can be confident are rooted in the realms of practicality. Two of the key pieces of data we ask this and all our clients to provide us with before putting stylus to tablet or fingers to keyboard are: what is the development budget and target unit cost? What is the experience and capabilities of the assembled team to design for manufacture, according to the aspirations and all relevant production methods? It is normal not to have answers to these questions straight away, but it is important to keep asking yourself these questions time and time again as you're making decisions critical to the design of the product. On the top of the screen here is a list of all the core phases that a product will pass through in its journey from birth to manufacture. It is crucial to be honest with yourself as to the true costs of developing and budget accordingly, or you risk nullifying your project. This is where you have spent all your funds on reaching the engineering phase, but your initial investment can't cover the cost of production tooling, let alone the first minimum production order. Prepare your cash flow projections accordingly and push for as favorable payment terms as you can from providers, such as small upfront payments for each phase of work, with the remainder payable on sign-off of the deliverables for that phase. Project costs do ramp up towards manufacture as you begin to produce higher and higher fidelity prototypes. Pay for third-party test house fees, and more often than not, a 50% deposit for any tooling, which can be in the tens of thousands. It is important to account for these and also import duties when procuring prototypes or tools from overseas vendors, as this can add an unexpected 20% to your costs. If you are working with a design partner or manufacturer, make sure you're getting a quote that covers you right from where you are in your journey through to production samples. Ensure that you have included physical prototyping as an activity within the concept and detailed engineering phases. Make sure you know how much contingency has been included into both the budget and the timeline to account for iterations and learnings from these prototypes. When briefing the consultancy, make sure you are clear on what you expect of them. For example, who is to produce the assembly drawings, who is to undertake the design refinements during production sampling, and produce the test rigs. Unless otherwise agreed, it is generally not something that the manufacturers throw in for free, and it is a cost you will have to bear, and the design consultants should quote for it if you're not doing it yourself. One cost you shouldn't have to factor in is large-scale design changes after the engineering phase, which is where the design should be frozen. The main reason for a design change just prior to or after design freeze is due to inexperience, which can be compounded if reviews are not carried out internally and with whoever you've selected as a contract manufacturer. It is rare to to recover from these changes, as usually it means you incur the cost of redoing part or all of the engineering work and potentially scrapping an expensive production tool if you've gone that far. One of the most important pieces of information a designer can be fed right at the requirements phase is the target cost for the product that is manufactured, assembled, boxed, and shipped. A target allows for practical concepts to be generated around part count, materials, processes, off-the-shelf versus custom routes, and more. Your target unit cost can be worked out roughly by taking what you intend to be the retail price and deducting distribution costs and your desired margin that accounts for your own costs and profit aspirations. To help you begin considering what the price is that you can charge for your product, you can conduct some simple research up front. Firstly, you'll need to create a range of personas that would exemplify your potential customers. Secondly, undertake a competitor analysis and teardown with your assumptions on how you plan to position your product and what features it will have, and then rank your product accordingly with your competitors. You can then seek and share this information with individuals who match these personas and ask them firstly whether they would buy the product, and secondly, how much they would be willing to pay for it. It is not uncommon to use several different fabrication processes to produce the part for one product. You'll see some of these on this page now. This means to achieve your marketing and technical requirements, you should consider the various tooling options and budgets associated with these processes and plan accordingly. Don't be limited by the processes proposed by your manufacturer or by the team. Keep your options open. It will mean that designers should be comfortable with both plastics and metal, and you will be likely to have a number of manufacturers in your supply chain, which either you or your consultants will need to manage. At I4PD, we have created a platform for estimating the tooling and unit cost, so we can give our customers an early rough indication of tooling and unit cost for their NRE budget. Throughout the project, we refine this estimate as the design evolves and as we have more detailed discussions with contract manufacturers. It may be that there is no budget available for tooling, and all funds must be diverted into the design and engineering of an earliest testable or earliest sellable product. This could be a combination of sheet metal, which needs very little tooling investment, and additive or subtractive manufacturing, which needs none at all. The trade-off, however, is that the unit cost will be far higher as a result of selecting these slower, low-volume manufacturing processes. However, needs must, and it could be a viable option as a means to an end where you will need to prove the concept either works or is capable of generating some revenue for your investors before progressing to a version that can earn you a decent margin. High volume processes, and by this I mean low thousands to millions of units, like injection molding and die casting, will attract tooling costs. It can ultimately result in parts that are a fraction of the cost. The same applies to electronics, where you might have the choice, such as using an off-the-shelf Bluetooth low energy module or integrating your own chip solution. You will need to do a cost calculation, as with the tooling, to decide at what volumes it will make sense to design, test, and qualify your own versus additional cost buying a pre-certified module. A recent study we undertook found that that trade-off point was around the 2,000 unit mark. So we've reached the end of our time today, but to quickly summarize, when it comes to avoiding the pitfalls on the way to manufacture, be sure to ensure the budget you've set aside or aim to raise accounts for the design effort, both low and high fidelity prototypes, test house fees, and most importantly, tooling and manufacturing setup costs. Always plan your budget for contingency, which commonly looks like additional iterations around prototyping and design updates based on those test results. Lastly, ensure your team has experience with the applicable manufacturing processes, and if they don't, partner with a design consultancy like our firm who can help you, even if it's on an ad hoc basis, to keep on track. So thanks again for signing up for today's seminar, and as a little gesture, our project team is offering to give up to 2 hours free consultation if you schedule a discovery call with us today, which you can do through this Calendly link showing on this page or using my direct contact details here. And it's never too early or too late to get in touch, and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much.